Hey agents, how many of you are tired of regen builds in the Division 2 PvP? Regen builds that juke and jive, dance the 1-2 while you and your 3 teammates desperately try to burn them down to no avail, eventually getting dropped one by one by the brothers and sisters of Mr. Twinkletoes. Are you tired of that? Are you? If you answered no, good for you. Have a cookie. But if you said yes, stay tuned, because I have the most innovative, forward-thinking build that crushes these big old tanks on sight. And you know what? Everybody already knows about it. You know it, your 3 teammates know it, and you've probably got all the pieces for it in your inventory right now. But nobody's using it. To understand why, let's go back over 3 years ago to the release date of a particular gear set. A gear set I call Heartbreaker. This Heartbreaker set was supposed to be Striker 2.0. Not only did it give insane damage when you built up stacks, but it also doubled your armor bar with a crap ton of bonus armor. That was it. It was the build we'd all been waiting for. Dark Zone, raids, conflict, it didn't matter where you looked, everybody was mowing down everything with these so-called Heartbreaker builds. It was a thing of beauty. Alas, Heartbreaker was nerfed, Striker was buffed, and this once pièce de résistance fell to the wayside, demoted to stashes, and in some cases even broken down for crafting materials. Back to the present, Heartbreaker builds are but a remnant, a memory of the past. Nowadays, if you want stacks, you go with Striker or tipping scales. Want survivability? Regen builds or Memento are at your service. If only there was a build that gave you the best of both worlds. But there is, and it's Heartbreaker. And the crazy thing is, you probably already knew that. So why is nobody using this build? It absolutely kerfuffles tanks, including regen builds. They simply cannot outdamage your bonus armor regeneration. And the longer they try, the stronger you get. The more lethal you become to not only them, but their teammates as well. You become a wrecking ball, fit to take on the enemy team 1v4. And you know what? After denying a couple attempts by the tank to attack your backline, he's gonna swap to another build. I mean, he'll have to. He's become a liability to his team. And you're the hero of the day. You just saved your teammates from having to deal with that strafe lord any longer. So what exactly is this build from Division lore? Let me refresh your memory. You'll be running 4 pieces of Heartbreaker, and because this is for PvP, you'll be equipping the backpack, which doubles your armor per stack from 1% to 2%. To get stacks, you just need to land shots on a pulsed target. The most effective way to do this is with the linked laser pointer. You can attach this to any high-end weapon with a long barrel, including the ACS-12 shotgun. Yep, the same guy you use to build stacks on Striker. This weapon is an integral part of this build, as without it, you just won't be able to build up stacks fast enough. But make sure to also put the laser pointer on your other weapon, as even if you have full 50 stacks, you won't be getting any of that 55% weapon damage if your target is not pulsed. In addition to these stacks, you're also getting 15% assault rifle and LMG damage, along with 15% handling from Heartbreaker's 2 and 3 piece bonuses. Not too shabby, I'd say. Alongside our 4 pieces of Heartbreaker, you're gonna have the new named Unit Alloys holster, which goes so well with Heartbreaker, as you'll be getting a total of 10% rate of fire from the brand set bonus and unique bonus from the item. Of course, a faster rate of fire means faster stacks, more damage, and more bonus armor. You can get this holster on the season track in Year 7, Season 3, but it's also in the general loot pool. You're also going to have the named chest piece Closer. Closer's talent, of course, is Perfect Spotter, which gives you 20% amplified damage to pulsed enemies, as opposed to the 15% from regular Spotter. You'll also get 5% armor from the Uzina Getica one-piece bonus. If you don't have Closer yet, just use a chest piece with regular spotter from either Fenris, Grupo Sombra, Gilligard, Unit Alloys, or Uzinegerica. For your attributes, as I always say, run as many red versus blue cores as you want. But for this build, I go with 5 armor cores and 1 damage. Minor attributes should all be crit chance and crit damage, but try to get as close to 60% crit chance as you can. Remember, you do not get the 10% crit chance from your watch in conflict, even though the stats page will include that, so it's best to manually count the crit chance on your build to make sure you are at or near the 60% cap. As for your weapons, starting with the ACS-12, do not, I repeat, do not use the named rock and roll. It sucks. 20 rounds is more than enough to get max Heartbreaker stacks, plus the shotgun talent Brazen actually makes the ACS-12's damage relevant, giving you up to 28% amplified damage per shot. Basically, the more pellets you hit, the more damage you'll do. With this talent, you'll actually be able to get some kills without having to swap to your AR or LMG. Speaking of which, there's no unanimous best in class, particularly for ARs, even though some people will tell you it's the Lexington. Sure, it has a slightly higher damage on paper, but if there's another long-railed weapon that you're more comfortable with and hitting more shots with, throw your link laser pointer on and roll with that one. Personally, I like the Police M4, but you do you. The obvious choice for talent is Flatline, as it gives 15% amplified damage to pulse targets. You can also use this over Brazen on the ACS-12 if you prefer consistent damage over higher damage potential. Of course, most content creators will tell you to run the named Kingbreaker because it comes with perfect flatline and 20% amplified damage. On paper, that's obviously better than regular flatline, but this is not Magic the Gathering. These fancy damage numbers are meaningless unless you can hit your shots, and the Kingbreaker has wacky recoil compared to most ARs. Again, you do you. But if you're subscribed to this channel, you probably have a half-decent head on your shoulders and aren't falling for that, "Oh my god, this build blows away the meta," clickbait nonsense. For your specialization, your only choice is Technician, as it unlocks the linked laser pointer. Otherwise, it's kind of a boring specialization for PvP. Skills, who cares? This is a DPS build, not a skill build, but booster hives are great for cleansing status effects, but not debuffs. Vision is extremely valuable in PvP, so a scanner pulse is a very team-friendly skill. Jammer pulses can destroy the pesky tier 0 stinger hives and seeker mines from the Desperations, and honorable mention to the decoy and defender drone. So how about the playstyle? This build is best at close to mid-range duels. At long range, unless you've got a bunch of stacks, you're at a big disadvantage. Ideally, you want to engage with your ACS-12 as close to the enemy as possible. Build up your stacks, and then swap to your AR or whatever else you're using. You'll want to stick with this weapon until your stacks get low, because this is going to have higher DPS and can be used at variable ranges. Heartbreaker stacks decay twice as fast as Striker, so keep an eye on them, because if you're not constantly shooting enemies, it'll be time to swap back to your shotgun before you know it. You're basically a tank, so stick to the front line and absorb damage for your pure damage teammates. But just be careful of angles. While aiming down sights and unloading round after round from your ACS-12, you're an easy target for players in the enemy backline, and Umbros will shred your armor and bonus armor in a heartbeat. So try to be aware of where the enemy damage dealers are, or where they may be, before you commence your tank busting. Counters to this build are System Corruption and 3 pieces of Y'all. You won't be able to build stacks on them, nor will you be able to get your bonus weapon damage when shooting them, because they are usually 100% pulse resistant. Full red builds are usually good against tanks, but I wouldn't say they counter Heartbreaker. As long as you stay out of their line of sight until you've got stacks, they're beatable. One last tip when using this build is know who's who on the enemy team. You always want to focus their tanks at the start of fights and avoid the damage dealers. So remember the outfits of their tanks. Stay in their line of sight. Tempt them to fight you and not your squishies. If they dare make a run for your backline, make them pay. Oh, and if you do succeed at making their tanks' lives miserable, expect them to swap, and don't hesitate to swap as well. If the enemy team doesn't have any tanks or bruisers, you're going to get blown up before you can build stacks. And there you go, Heartbreaker is back. I hope this video was helpful and motivates more of you to bring back your old Heartbreaker builds so I can run all over you with my system corruption builds.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
Anyways, whatever build you're running, have fun out there, agents.